Be very good.
Oh, no,
if you both came on, you'd be much better than him.
Well, sadly, that is... I know loads of stuff. I just can't remember any of it.
That's interesting, actually. The younger you are, the quicker you bring it back from the back of your brain.
Yeah.
I mean, older people don't do as well, but everyone on the Weakest Link who comes on, they have got to be well above average. It's just they get frightened in front of the camera.
I understand that, yeah.
And has anyone sort of taken you to one side after and said, I took exception to that, I'm very hurt and I'm going to get even?
They'd be very disappointed if I wasn't horrible.
Right.
They're very, very competitive, which is how, when we were developing the show, and I met contestants for the first time doing a pilot, I realised how competitive they were. And I remember one guy coming on and I said, why are you voting off Janet? And he said, anyone who doesn't know the colour of the Teletubbies shouldn't be here. And I thought, we don't have to be nice. Yes. We can be ourselves.
It's a very horrible question, but I will ask it anyway. Out of all the celebrity ones, is there anyone that stands out for being particularly...
Well, I always remember asking Jenny Murray how old she was, and she said 50. And I said, it's so easy, this. What year were you born? And she went,
Excellent answer. I don't think it matters. I don't think Jenny Murray's a regular one-show viewer. Somehow.
Of course she
doesn't
is.
seem the type. I don't know.
Anyway, Giles Brandreth. Probably an old friend of yours, but we'll have a discussion in a bit about that. He's our nostalgia correspondent. He's been at it again, hasn't he?
Tonight, never mind Twitter, texts, mobile phones, cordless phones, or even just phones. Any of that newfangled nonsense.
No, he's taking us back to the telegram.
If you'd been alive 100 years ago, it would have been inconceivable to think of sending a message around the world through the ether with one of these. But that doesn't mean to say we didn't have instant messaging. For more than a century, we had the telegram. The electrical telegraph started out as a simple communication system of coded pulses sent between stations along railway lines in the 1830s. It soon followed the growing rail network from town to town, with lines of telegraph poles sprouting up around the country, and was taken over by the post office in the 1860s. With words costing a whole sixpence for a mere dozen and punctuation extra, necessity bred wittier and shorter correspondence. An over-inquisitive journalist. How old, Cary Grant? His reply, old Cary Grant fine. How you? Writer G.K. Chesterton to his wife. I'm in Birmingham. Where ought I to be? She wired back, home. Playwright Bernard Shaw to Winston Churchill. I'm reserving 2 tickets for you for my first night. Bring a friend if you have one. Churchill's reply, impossible, first night. We'll come to second if you have one. Because of their speed, telegrams soon became the conduit for emergency information. The British Postal Museum and Archive, London, holds contemporaneous documents of the sinking of the Titanic. The first of these, it comes from Thomas Ismay, the founder of the White Star Line, whose son, the managing director of the company, was on board the Titanic. Underwriters have message from New York that Virginian, that was another boat, is standing by Titanic and that there is no danger of loss of life. Ismay. Seemingly good news. But then you turn the page, deeply grieved. Say that during night we received word, steamer foundered. About 675 souls, mostly women and children, saved. So he presumed that all the men had been lost, including his son. Ismay's son later turned up alive. But the telegram was already establishing itself as the most expedient way to deliver bad news. In 2 world wars, tens of thousands of telegrams informed families that their loved ones had died or were missing in action. And all these were delivered by messenger boys, sometimes dubbed angels of death. As more of them were called up, the scouts took on the role. Anything about telegrams?
Something about communication.
Something about communication. Do you know how telegrams were made or sent or what they did?
Isn't it just write on a piece of paper?
It is that sort of thing. It is a way of communicating down the line. Are you prepared to learn?
Yeah.
Good. Come with me. So, what will the 64th Birmingham Scout Group make of such an archaic form of communication as they recreate a landmark in telegraphic history? Have you got it? You've got the message. I've texted them the exact radio telegraph sent from a ship leaving British waters in 1910.
Seller, murderer, are among saloon passengers.
Dr. Crippen was spotted aboard a steamer bound for Canada shortly after his wife disappeared and a body was unearthed at his home. Go, go, go. Moustache taken off, growing beard. Accomplice dressed as boy. Voice, manner and build, undoubtedly a girl.
Well done, boy. That's just what we wanted.
And thanks to this telegram, Chief Inspector Dew was able to catch a faster ship to Canada, a White Star Line, and arrive there in time to arrest the murderous Dr. Crippen. But most of us would have been familiar with telegrams that celebrated births, weddings, and of course, making a century. With the arrival of the internet and mobile phones, we're in danger of taking modern instant messaging for granted. But is it really better than a paper telegram? Yes, texts and emails do the business in their way, but with the passing of the telegram, haven't we lost something quite special? The historical document, and more than that, something you can hold in your hand, put on the mantelpiece, and treasure.
Giles is here. Do you know Giles, Anne?
Do I know Giles? I've got to tell you this story.
Go on.
When I was plugging my book, my autobiography, Giles had a very successful radio show. I'm sounding like him already. And I was being walked to his studio, and I heard him say, "Next on the programme, one of my oldest, dearest, most talented, fantastically wonderful friends. I've known her for years." And I'd never met her.
He tells that as so many times about all of our guests.
And we always believe it.
But when we met, we felt we'd met, didn't we? We felt we'd met, and then we moved in together. Our marriage crumbled, mind game a bit rocky. We had similar operations at the same time. We are absolutely as one now. We're virtually lookalikes.
Yeah, we're going to do the old show instead of the one show.
Yes. There could be legs in that.
Yeah.
Could be legs in that.
When we were, can I say, literally 40 years ago, when we were starting out as our careers, telegrams were part and parcel of the day. If you wrote a good article or if you did a good show, you got a telegram from the boss saying, "Well done."
We called a herogram.
Yeah.
The editor sent you a herogram.
And that was in the form of a telegram?
Yeah, saying well done. And I remember the first, when I completed, or I can't remember which husband, anyway, we completed on a house. I remember getting a telegram or sending it to him. He was a foreign correspondent saying Tavistock Terrace is ours, and that was a telegram.
Yeah.
And
I framed.
The Twitter is, I suppose, the modern equivalent.
Well, just a text message.
It doesn't replace the piece of paper. On America, of course, they had singing telegrams. A boy would arrive in his little pillbox hat.
You don't really
open
need
the telegram.
microphones.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
You don't at all.
Quite right. Just one more thing. You'll have seen that Derren Brown will be attempting to predict tonight's national lottery numbers.
Yeah, good luck to him. We thought we'd beat him to it, didn't we?
Stop touching her. Stop touching the women.
When you're my age, you like being touched.
Can I say she was touching me?
Listen, we're going to predict. We're going to try and predict the national lottery numbers for tonight here on the One Show.
Come on, concentrate.
It's coming. 7.
Okay. 12.
And
28.
Okay, and I'm predicting all the threes, 33.
I wanted 33. 43.
Ooh, I'm going for
44. Do say 44.
44.
Yes.
And tonight's bonus ball, it's got to be lucky 13.
There you have it, folks. Imagine the trouble if those numbers come up tonight.
Because there won't be any money.
No, they will be shared out, I know. We've got Alan Wicker with us tomorrow.
That'll be lovely.
Can you do that wink for us? You just say goodbye into camera 4.
Yeah, Watchdog, 8 o'clock Thursday.
That's right. We're going to try and wink and say goodbye now. Christine, unfortunately, can't wink.
Can't really can.
She can't. Here we go.
Okay, here we go.
Believe me, here we go. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Brilliant.